Miss Candy for Hire. By Princess Indigo. Chapter 5. Bad Ginny. Miss Candy. You're alive. The rumors are true, you've had a complete makeover and I was not involved. I am positively devastated. Gushed Dolores, then dashed down a flight of steps, and emerged out grandly onto the grass, as a bell on the balcony rang. Miss Candy laughed loudly and said, "Yes, Dolores, I am very much alive. More by luck than good judgment." As they exchanged an over-the-top hug. Mother of God, there's another client. Excuse me girls, I have to go moan and talk dirty for 20 minutes. You wouldn't know I had such a potty mouth, just by looking at me. Candy, you better be still here, when I get back, or I will cry and cry," said the femboy on the balcony, and hurried inside. "That's Fabiana, they're new. The longest legs you ever saw. Candy, dearest, I heard all about your tussle with Josephine the Terrible and the demise of the Hot Valley. We could see the flames from here, we just didn't realize it was you. Now sit down in your favorite chair, while I make you a fresh mojito and you can tell me all about it," said Dolores excitedly. "The princess did a complete rebuild on me, that's why I have all these new curves. It took a little while to get back on my feet, and decide what the hell I was going to do with my life," said Miss Candy, after she had recalled the night of the fire. "I heard about your latest venture. It's not hard to guess why you're here," replied Dolores, who after delivering the aforementioned mojito, had found a folding chair and encamped next to her guest with one of her own. "If anyone knows what's going on in Quattro City, it's you, Dolores Martinez. You also make a stellar mango and pineapple mojito," said Miss Candy, raising her glass with a grin. "Only the best for my favorite girl. Now who exactly do you need me to dish the dirt on?" answered Dolores. "What can you tell me about a woman called Patricia Simonside and Madame Tagus? I promise to make it worth your while," inquired Miss Candy. "I couldn't possibly ask you to pay for your information like everyone else, that would be far too vulgar. It will have to be something more up close and personal," said Dolores, blushing. "I think you'll find I'm quite prepared to negotiate," said Miss Candy with a smile. "Fabiana isn't the only one who likes a good spanking," replied Dolores at last. "But if she doesn't get to watch, she'll scream the house down. She can stand on the balcony as long as she keeps her hands above the railings," smirked Miss Candy. "You're looking for Bad Ginny, aren't you, Candy girl?" said Dolores in hushed tones. "I thought I'd seen the last of her, I can tell you that for nothing," answered Miss Candy testily. "The ungrateful little minx," added Dolores. "She was a total novice submissive, when she first came in my door. I trained her for over a year, built up such a good bond with her. She became so attached to me, we started dating. It started to go south, when it was obvious she'd met another mistress, but kept coming to me when she had an itch to scratch. Then one day she just spat it all back in my face, called me all the names under the sun, smashed up my apartment and stormed out of my life," said Miss Candy with a regretful sigh. "I remember it all, you still had your first chassis. The Candy Classic. They were halcyon days, apart from the grand soap opera finale of course," said Dolores sympathetically. "When her new mistress had enough of her, she came right back. I wasn't having any of it. And we went through all the histrionics a second time around. We had a big set too, in the middle of the street, then she put a big nasty dent in my necromancer and I never saw her again," said Miss Candy ruefully. "I never knew that Candy girl," said a surprised Dolores. "It was too painful to talk about. I loved my first necromancer with my heart and soul," replied Miss Candy quietly. "Have you heard any recent gossip that might be of use?" "I'll have to do some asking around, and hopefully I can point you in the right direction, for some proper intel," Dolores said thoughtfully, as a door on the balcony crashed open. "Well, that was short and sweet. Well, short anyway. Hello, 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 hello. What have I missed? Tell Fabiana everything," said an effervescent voice from the balcony, with a fresh mojito in her hand. "I'll go and make a few phone calls," whispered Dolores and stood up. "Then I'll give you your reward," answered Miss Candy quite smuttily. "Fabiana, can you fetch the antiseptic cream, because I think I'm going to need it," called up Dolores. "Your wish is my command, oh great one," came the facetious answer. "Now which frecking room is it in?" said Fabiana uncertainly and disappeared inside.